class movement sweeping America put the idea of fairness on the front page. But before the crowds began their nationwide protests against the 1% who control all the wealth in this country, there was just one woman leading that fight. Elizabeth Warren, the Harvard Law School professor, had the guts to stand up to Wall Street's corporate greed and fight for the middle class.
Let's face it, something's badly broken in America right now. Washington really is wired for the big corporations, for those with power. There needs to be at least one person in the room who asks the question, how will this affect Americans' families? My life's work has been fighting for middle-class families. It has been about standing up to powerful interests.
She's taking that message to rally the base in her Massachusetts Senate race, drawing massive crowds. The GOP is scared, so they're trying to smear her.
Elizabeth Warren sides with extreme left protests. At Occupy Wall Street, protesters attack police, do drugs, and trash public parks. They support radical redistribution of wealth and violence.
But Elizabeth Warren isn't backing down. She's ready for a fight. Democrats, are you taking notes? Because this is how you win an election. Joining me now is someone who knows how to fight for the middle class, former Congressman from Florida, Alan Grayson, and Jonathan Capehart, columnist for the Washington Post and an MSNBC contributor. Congressman, let me start with you. Are Republicans feeling the heat from Warren and the middle class movement?
Yes, and so are their backers and the people who control them, Wall Street, because Elizabeth Warren is the kind of person that Wall Street just doesn't know how to deal with. She doesn't have a price tag on her. She can't be bought. She spent her whole life doing good things for the middle class, and they can't buy her off, so they just don't know what to do.
Now, when you see distorted ads like that, and then you see the support that we're seeing with the crowds coming out to rallies, Jonathan, it's no wonder that Scott Brown has become kind of, in many ways, overly aggressive with his ads or his supporters with their ads. And he's even said now he's going to vote, interestingly enough, for the nominee for Consumer Affairs in the Senate, something that he was not going to do or no one thought he was going to do. Is this him trying to have it both ways, trying to condemn her and move to the center at the same time because he senses the climate changing?
The short answer is yes. Senator Brown has done this thing several times since getting to Washington of bucking the Republican leadership on key issues. He's very mindful, Senator Brown that is very mindful that he is holding a seat that was held by a Democrat for decades, the late Senator Ted Kennedy, that he won in a special election, and that to win that seat outright for a full 6-year term, he's really going to fight really hard to win that seat himself. So his tacking to the center, if you will, is something that he's been doing for a while. Now, going aggressively against Elizabeth Warren, he has to do that if he wants to keep that seat, because Elizabeth Warren, unlike the person he ran against last time, the Massachusetts Attorney General, Elizabeth Warren is showing that she doesn't view this race as a cakewalk. She is fighting tooth and nail to take that seat from Scott Brown.
Now, Congressman, when you look at the campaign funds, Mr. Senator Brown has gotten money from Wall Street, Goldman Sachs, $60,500, Barclays, $39,499, Paulson and Company, Morgan Stanley, and others. Then when you look on the other side where Elizabeth Warren has received, her campaign's raised $3.15 million, but most of them are donations of $100 or less. Many of them, which is 96% of those that contributed, and many of them from around the country. Does this put the senator in the position he's in where he can't really fight those that are financing his campaign?
Well, I think that he, like most of the Republicans, and frankly some of the Democrats, has been completely compromised by the fact that they take money from special interests and then sell off the law in pieces and give these special interest bailouts and government contracts and tax breaks. And where you compare that to Elizabeth Warren's contribution base, and frankly my contribution base as well, we had 100,000 people come to our website, congressmanwithguts.com, and make contributions that averaged $38. Now you see the same phenomenon with Elizabeth Warren's campaign. And the good thing about that is that it's all clean money. She owes nothing to anybody but the voters. And all these people who are contributing to her campaign and to my campaign understand that what they're getting for that is simply good government. Not tax breaks, not bailouts, not special favors, not regulatory relief, but just good government. And it represents a whole new paradigm in American politics that can dramatically change American politics. I'm very happy to see you're doing it.
Well, now, Jonathan, is this the way that Democrats need to run an election? By fighting, by standing their ground, by not equivocating, by not looking to go to the center, but by standing where they are for the American people?
Well, as the saying goes, all politics is local, and when it comes to that Massachusetts Senate seat, what's happening there and the two people involved, the fighting is, just the right way to go. On the presidential level, as we're seeing, as President Obama has, taken a more aggressive stance both to Congress and to the Republican leadership in Congress, the American people are responding because the president is doing what they've been asking him to do all along, which is to fight. Again, on the ground in particular races, taking that fight directly to Republicans and to Republican candidates very well might work. And given the mood of the country, whether the person is someone who's in favor of Occupy Wall Street or the person is in favor of what the Tea Party has been trying to do over the last 3 years, clearly the American people are angry, they want solutions, and they want to send people to Washington who they believe will fight for their interests once they get here and not put their own personal interests ahead of theirs.
Congressman Grayson, usually when you see success, you see there is a reaction from the other side. I said before and showed before how it seems that Mr. Brown's supporters have overreacted. Let me show you one heckler that went after Ms. Warren and how she handled it.
I just saw you on television taking credit for the Occupy Wall Street movement.
I'm very sorry to hear that you've been out of work. I'm also very sorry that the recent jobs bill that would have brought 22,000 jobs to Massachusetts did not pass in its I've been protesting what's been going on Wall Street for a very long time.
Well, you're the intellectual creator of that so-called
This kind of language, this kind of outrage only shows in many ways that maybe somebody is being successful up there. Congressman, wouldn't you think?
Well, sure. In fact, her whole campaign is a reaction to cupidity and selfishness on the part of the right wing, because she wouldn't be running for Senate right now if they'd given her the job she so richly deserved, which is head of the agency that she went and created. She had the concept for a Consumer Financial Protection Bureau and had it incorporated in the legislation, the Dodd-Frank legislation that my committee passed last year.
Yeah.
And they wouldn't let her have that job because she'd be too good at it. And that's why she's running for the Senate now, because the Republicans blocked her, and her candidacy is now going to cost them a Senate seat.
Well, I can tell you this, Congressman, on two light notes. One, when that young man, after using that insult to her, walked out, he walked to a door that was closed. As an old protester, you should always check your exit. And